Hello traders, welcome to SammybrainFx. So in today's video we are going to be analyzing the Volatility 75 Index, looking at some of the trading opportunities it has given so far. Alright, so if we check our previous video, the last analysis we did, you will see how we were able to get the entry, take the entry we took. Look at, this was the previous on V75, this was the previous trade we did. Okay, this is what we analyzed previously. Now coming to let me come from the 4 hours time frame. Okay, let's go to the 2 hours time frame. Now coming to the 2 hours time frame, we see what we saw, that price there was a price has been bullish prior to this time. Price has been bullish. Okay, price has been bullish. So the moment price got to this place, we saw that there was a break of structure here to the downside. So we saw this break of structure to the downside. So the trend, this was a signal. We can call this a change of character right here. Okay, someone was asking in our previous video the difference between a change of character, okay, a change of character, break of structure, and market structure shift. All right, so I'm going to be doing that briefly, but if you have been following our previous video, you understand when I talk about confirmation entry and then I use break of structure instead of change of character. Now let me just quickly explain that. So if you have a particular trend, let's say we have an uptrend, okay, we have a break of structure to the upside, a retracement, break of structure, a retracement, another break of structure, retracement, another break of structure. So now for this one, we can call it we can call this a break of structure. Okay, we can call this a break of structure. We can call this break of structure. All right, so now these are all break of structures. So why is it a break of structure? Because let me reduce this. So price is following the prevalent trend, which is uptrend. Okay, so we see a series of higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. So we call all these break of structure. So these are all break of structure, meaning the price after this break, there's correction, and then it continues with its prevalent trend. So this is what we call break of structure. Okay, meaning price is following a particular trend. It could also be a downtrend, but this is a model for a bullish move. All right, so now where do we have what then is change of character? What then is change of character? So for change of character, let's say we were going upwards, which is this is a bullish trend, and then getting to this zone, price chooses to change direction. So if we have this, we have this break right here. Okay, instead of price we have this. Okay, if we have this retracement, instead of price coming to create a new high above this high, which would have shown a continuation, we see that price is unable to break this high, and then we have something like this. Okay, we have something like this. So we can call this a change of character. Okay, so we can call this a change of character. Yep, we can call this a change of character. Okay, so price has been in an uptrend, but then we see that price this high failed to break the previous high. Okay, and then also it broke the previous low right here. So now we can call this a change of character. So we can call this a change of character. Okay, CH OCH. So that's a change of character. Okay, so that's a change of character right there. So now where do we so now this change of characters, it's a warning sign that price is actually changing trend. Okay, but at times you could see the trade after doing all this, after failing to break this previous high and taking out this previous low, you could see price still going back and taking all these highs and form a new high, and then continues to go higher. Okay, you could see price do this. it happens at times. Okay, so now where then or at what point do we now have a market structure shift? Okay, so now for market structure shift, if after we have seen this change of character, and then we'll now see price failing to break this previous high, and then it comes back and break this second low. Okay, now this is now a confirmation that we are actually changing the direction of the market. So this is a confirmation that we're actually not going bullish again, that price is actually going to sell. So this is a confirmation that the trend has changed, where we have your first change of character, and then retracement, and then we have your second low taken out. So now with this we can now call this market structure shift. So we can now call this our market structure shift, meaning we have gotten a confirmation that the trend has changed from bullish to bearish. So we can call this market structure shift. Okay, so the person that was asking the question, he was asking why I use a change of character, break of structure, and market and a market structure shift interchangeably. Okay, so if you check our previous video, you understand the way I use it. But in a simple explanation, this is break of structure, and then this is change of character, and this is market structure shift, when we have seen that a price has actually change trend. But change of character is a warning sign that price is likely going to change trend. But microstructure shift, it's a confirmation that price has actually changed character from actually changed trend from bullish to bearish. Okay, so now let's go back to to look at the trade we took. Let me take this out. So now coming back to V75, so we saw this. So after we have this change of character, okay, meaning price broke structure, okay, it changed from bullish to bearish. So we have this change of character, then retracement, we have a break of structure to the downside, and now if we watch here this 2 hours time frame, we have this particular zone. Okay, we have this particular order block right here on that 2 hours time frame. Okay, and then also after this order break, we also have another zone right here. So if we go to our 1 hour time frame, for coming down to our 1 hour time frame, we see that we had 2 zones there, which is this zone and this other zone. So now for the trade we took previously in analysis on V75, we saw that price broke structure, and then it came into this particular zone, it took out, it created this inducement, price tap into our zone, and then it sold. Okay, and then also when price broke structure again here, we saw another break of structure here, we took this trade here, but it took us out. Okay, and now what did we see next? The previous the more extreme zone, the more extreme order block that we saw earlier, which our price did not get to, at this point price reacted here instead of here. We now saw that price still went back to that more extreme order block, and then it's mitigated it and reacted and sold massively to the downside. So price sold massively to the downside. So now we saw this break of structure. Okay, so now this gives us another opportunity. We saw another order block right here. Okay, now so we saw this order block, so we have this break of structure, we have our order block, and then we have our fair value gap. So we have our fair value gap. Okay, so our fair value gap is there, and then we waited for price to tap into this zone before this zone. That's our order block before we look at for a sale. So we saw price, what price did. So price came, and then it tapped into our zone. After price tap into our zone, the next thing we actually waited for, it's our confirmation entry. Okay, if you check our previous video, or you see our confirmation entry model. But let me just show us here. So since this is a bearish model, so we want to see something like this. We want to see a break, okay, and then a retracement, and then we sell. So we can have this model for our confirmation entry. This is for the bearish model. Okay, so we are looking at something like this. Okay, at this particular zone where price mitigated our order block. So this is what we are looking at for to take that short entry. And then also we can have this model, we can also have the other model, something like this. Okay, we can also have something like this. We'll have a break and then a retracement, an inducement. Okay, and this before price sells. Okay, so any of this model, we are good to go. So for this particular model, we see we have there's an inducement right here, price induced, tap into our zone and then it's sold. But for this first model, there is no inducement. Okay, so any of this model that we can find here where price has mitigated our order block, okay, we can take this confirmation entry. Okay, any of this pattern. Okay, so the most important thing is okay, so for one of the questions that the person asked, he was like I wasn't distinguishing market structure shift and change of character when I'm doing the confirmation entry. So now price having mitigated our zone. Okay, what are we looking at for? We can call that a change of character because you know price has been coming in the higher time frame. So price has been going bullish, has been going up, and then it entered our zone. Okay, but our bias was sell. So price going up, going up, going up, going up, and then it entered our zone. We're looking at for a confirmation to sell. We can call that a change of character. We can call that a change of character because price has been going up and then it taps into our zone and then we want to see it sell. Okay, so that change in trend, that change in the direction of the market, we can call it a change of character, but at times I call it break of structure. But the most important thing is for you to understand what we are talking about. Okay, look at the bias of the market. Like this particular bias is bearish. Okay, and then we have seen our order block. I haven't seen our order block. We wait for price to tap into that order block. That's to mitigate our order block, and then we look at for our confirmation. Okay, now for that confirmation, so price has tapped in. This is our 1 hour time frame. So the next thing is that we'll go to our 15-minute time frame. Now this confirmation, it could be on the 15-minute time frame. Okay, for the confirmation entry could be 15 minutes. It could be the 10 minutes, could also be in the 5 minutes, sometimes 3 minutes or thereabout, but I actually focus much more on this. So yeah, so any of these confirmation entry model, okay, could be seen, you know, in these time frames. So now how did we take this particular trade? So let's go to 15 minutes. This trade I think I actually took it on the 15 minutes time frame confirmation entry. Let's check. So let's go to our 15 minutes. So coming down to our 15 minutes, so what did we see? Yeah, this was so clear on the 15-minute time frame. So after price tap into our zone, we saw that there's this change of character. Can call it a break of structure. So you saw that there's this change of character. So price broke this previous low, and then this is that order block that caused that change. So price retrace, tap into that zone, and then it sold. So this will agree with this first model we have here, where price break, we see where we saw a change of character and then retracement before we sell. So this model is what we saw here. Okay, so price did this and then it sold. Okay, so it's very, very important when you take a trade, you put your stop loss and just let the trade run, because you see what happened here. So price retraced, tap into our zone and started selling. It still went back as if it wants to take us out, but it never came close to our stop loss. So price did all this and then it still went on. So where was our target? Our exit point was the next swing low. Okay, so this was our exit point. So we got out of the trade right here. This was our exit point. Okay, and then we saw what happened after we got out of the trade here. So price did this and then it went up again. Now there's also another entry we took here. Okay, if we go to our 2 hours time frame, we actually saw this order block now 2 hours time frame. So if we check for 2 hours time frame, we saw that there's this break of structure and then there is this order block. If we are to refine this order block to our 1 hour time frame, you will see that we would have missed this trade because price did not get to the order block on the 1 hour, but it reacted on the 2 hours order block. So price reacted here. Now most importantly, whether it's on the 2 hours or on the 1 hour order block that price reacts, most importantly is that you wait for confirmation. Okay, so we waited for confirmation. So the moment price mitigated this zone, this order block on the 2 hours time frame, we wanted to wait for it to mitigate the 1 hour order block, but we saw something in the 15-minute time frame. So let's go to the 15-minute time frame. There we saw that after this mitigation, the 2 hours order block, we saw that there was a break of structure. Okay, there was a break of structure. If we go to 5 minutes, I think, okay, let's go to 10 minutes. Let's see. 10 minutes is not clear. Okay, 5 minutes is clearer. So for 5 minutes time frame, so what did we see here? We saw that price break. There was this break to the downside. Okay, price broke structure to the downside. You can call this a change of character. Yeah. So, and then a retracement to that order block that caused that change, and then price mitigated there, and then it sold. So that's how we got this confirmation entry. So the same model we saw here. Okay, so the same model here, so the same model here is the same model we are seeing here. So it's still this which falls within this particular model. Okay, we didn't get this, but this is the one we saw. Okay, because there was no inducement in that lower time frame confirmation. So we got the confirmation here on our 15-minute time frame, but for this particular place we got the confirmation here on a 5-minute time frame. So that's how we're able to take these two trades. And then another thing is this particular one, I did not take this particular trade, but looking at all this, okay, how price has been coming down. Okay, if we look down here, we show that there's this order block that lies here. So there's this order block here, this order block right here. We have this order block right there. So why is it that order block? We saw that these particulars are right here. Let's go to for 2 hours time frame. We'll see what happened. We saw that this zone, it broke structure to the upside. So okay, if we go to a 1 hour, we'll see it clearly. So for 1 hour we saw that we saw all those break. So we saw this there's also a break here. So we saw this break of structure here, saw this break of structure, another break of structure. We saw all this. So this is that zone, this other block caused that break of structure, this other block. So there's an other block right here. Okay, so still our confirmation entry, following our entry models, the same thing. Okay, what we saw here is the same thing we saw here. That's the same thing that happened right here. So our price having mitigated our order block on the 1 hour time frame. So what did we do next? We waited for our confirmation. Well, I didn't take this particular trade. So, but if we go to the 15-minute time frame, let's see if we would have gotten any confirmations. Now, coming to the 15-minute time frame. So after this mitigation, we saw that there was a break of structure here. This break of structure is not very clear. Let's go to a 10-minute time frame so we'll see it clearly. Okay, now we saw, okay, let's go 5 minutes will be much better. Okay, so we have this break of structure here, and then we have this particular, okay, I have this, so there was an imbalance right here. We see that there's that void here, price did not mitigate. Okay, so we have this break of structure, change of character, whatever you want to call it, and then we have that. Of course, our stop loss is going to be below. I always put my stop loss below this previous, below this, rather than just putting my stop loss here. I used to give it more space. Okay, so this is how we would have gotten this entry, but I didn't take this entry. But you can see it's very massive. So we saw that confirmation, and then of course the target is this previous swing high right here. Okay, so see how we would have gotten this particular entry. So guys, if you check all what we have been doing so far, looking at our previous analysis on Volatility 75 Index, and what we have just done here is still the same pattern, the same thing we have been doing. Okay, so number one, you know the trend of the market. Is it bullish, is it bearish? The next thing you will look at for a break of structure, your order block, and then of course your fair value gap. Your order block there must be a clear break of structure, a fair value gap. Then after that, wait for price to mitigate, the other block, and then you look at for your confirmation on the 15-minute time frame, 10-minute time frame, or 5 minutes time frame, as the case may be. Okay, repeating that same pattern, trust me, it's going to make you master the market, and of course it will help give you more wins in your trade. So that's that for that, guys. So we'll see in our next video. Bye for now.